Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester. And I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we're choosing, right? What I am discussing today is, I have notes too, so if you see me looking this way or I'm facing this way, is because for whatever reason, the microphone is over here today and so are the notes and so is the lighting. So you'll get sort of a side profile view of me. Nonetheless, what I'm discussing today is the problem with being connected to people who don't fully see your value. This is super important to me because let me break it down a little bit, and I'm going to try to just be more thoughtful and not think of brevity the whole time, right? Sometimes we have people that we are connected to and we find it an accomplishment, and I think it is an accomplishment, when we're able to mix and mingle with all types of people, even when they don't agree with our ways, who we are and what we're working on and where we're going or anything. Like I said, I've been in a very kind of earthy, like bohemian environments my whole entire life, right? People that are off the beaten path. And one thing they do not like is formal education, right? So being in those environments, I've had to stand on my own too and say, I saw the choices and I made this one because I enjoyed formal academia. I can see why people wouldn't choose it, but I don't negatively speak towards people who don't, right? But I was a champion at that. I was able to be around anybody. They could bash, trash, blah, 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 because I was very secure in my knowing of academia being my way to go. I was not an entrepreneur mindset. I was definitely not a hustler to some degree, but not super, because I was raised like that. So I got it in me, but I like to just be relaxed and peaceful and calm and know things are working out exactly how they are. And whatever I got to do to set myself up for that, that's what I like. But I was able to stand in these environments with these people because I was very secure in that choice that I made there, right? And I didn't see their alternatives as being so much better. And so we think that we're supposed to be able to do this with everything. And I would say, yes, you are. But there's an issue that comes up when we are not secure enough in that thing. And we're around people and places and environments that don't truly value and respect that thing or who we are or what we're working on or what we're trying to be, right? So this is a rare occasion where a lot of people would think, oh, well, isn't it great to hear alternative views and alternative mindsets? It is. But after you've heard those things and you've introduced all the new information and you've settled on the way that you want to see a particular subject, or you want to see yourself, or you want to see one of your attributes, then anybody coming in with a lot of negativity towards that are really not making an impact. Especially when you get to people who are like in their 40s. We've settled on a lot of things. We know they're out there. We know what's available. We know there are many ways to think about it. We've heard most of them, but we've decided this is my way, right? So one of the ways that I've noticed this comes up with people is that you'll pick it up in conversations as it relates to their views, right? They'll describe everything that they don't like about a person or people, and they'll make a bullet list, checkpoint, and all that. And then you like, wait, I'm listening to this person because they're my friend, but did they just name every single aspect of who I am? I've had people do that before, literally been on the phone in conversation with them. And they were like, yeah, I hate people like this. I hate people that don't just follow the rules. Why can't you just follow the rules that are in front of you? And I hate people that always want to ask questions and things, like they're naming all of these aspects. And you're like, hey, wait, that's who I am. So being connected to them is going to pull down your energy. It's going to pull down that frequency, and you're not going to be operating at your peak level because maybe you're not fully secure in those things that they're mentioning about you. And maybe you can be influenced in a way that might be negative to your psyche. And so it's just something to pay attention to. Another way that you can tell people don't fully value you or they don't value aspects of you, this is something that is a nuanced thing that I remember since like middle school, but it still follows adults to this day, right? They'll be shocked when someone has romantic interest in you. Not that you have romantic interest, because that's, everybody can have, but it's the type of person, right? They assume because you are who you are that the type of people that should be attracted to you should be a certain type of people, right? I was in high school. I was one of those people that was not people knew who we were, and we all knew who everybody was, mostly because we all went to the same elementary, middle school, and high school. That's what happens in a town where I think we had 15,000 people when I was growing up, and now it's like 40,000. So it's a bigger town, but it's, and it's very close to a main city, so it didn't have all of the small town elements per se, but you knew the same people. So my daughter was asking me about popularity, and I'm like, yeah, people who are popular are people who were like class clowns and people who like to do bad things because they were known for that. And then people who were in sports and like cheerleading and all that kind of stuff, right? Involve people. And so I was telling her that, I was not really involved in things when I was in school because I wanted to get out. I didn't like being in high school. I felt like it was way beneath me. I was one of those kids. The teachers, and my mom can tell you, I called everybody stupid. I didn't have the tools at the time to know what I was up against. And it was really just groupthink and commoner mentality, and I just didn't like it. And so I recognized it very young. And so my daughter was asking me about popularity. I dated someone in school who was way beyond popular than what I was, and I dated him for 3 years. And my daughter was thinking, and I remember the way people would act when I would say, they'll say, oh, who's your boyfriend? And I would say, and they go, him? That automatically made me realize that they devalued me. They figured because I wasn't flashy, I wasn't promiscuous, I wasn't dressing to show my body and all these kind of things, that certain people wouldn't be interested in me. And it just wasn't the case, right? So I've noticed this with women on many different occasions. Someone I used to call a best friend a long time ago made a comment like that to me once. Him? You? And I'm just like, dude, what does that even mean, right? It's like they think you're this incel who doesn't have any life or romantic interest. That's one way you'll pick it up. Another way is they don't really like to show you that they see your glow up, right? They always want to humble you. So I find this is something common with family members, but it may also be your friendships and stuff like that too. Like they don't really truly acknowledge your glow up. Like they'll do it on the sideways kind of ways. But when you know you're doing something and people that don't really value you are trying to ignore it, that's when you know you're doing something great. Because when people really value you, they show up. They show up and they show out, and they act like, they're like, man, I'm truly impressed by this, blah, blah, blah. They don't do hollow words. They're truly impressed. And some people are working on it, and that's fine, right? And, it is what it is. They go on about somebody, and this is another one, a way that you can notice. They go on about somebody that they're impressed with who does everything that you do. And you just like, dang, like if I ran into someone who's just like, so-and-so wrote 5 books, they did this, that, like that's the kind of, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. But you know everything about me. And you've never once said, oh, that's amazing. That's crazy. Tell me about this, blah, blah, blah. How do you do this? Or any type of real interactions. That's how you know they're on the hater side. They're on the not valuing you side, right? Because if I'm doing the same thing that this other person is doing, why is this other person so much more impressive and you haven't even acknowledged what I'm doing? This is not about me personally, but I've seen people do these in environments, right? And I already know where the behavior is stemming from, right? And another thing that people don't realize, this is not a conversation about what other people are doing per se, even though we have to have those conversations because, well, this is life and there's always going to be other people and what they're doing and how it impacts us, right? They will talk you into settling for things that are less than what you deserve and less than what you are worthy of, right? I've had someone recently, not even recently, in the past, they've done this several times, but in different types of relationships that I've had, people connections and all that, I have a conversation with them and they sit and tell me that this behavior that someone is displaying is okay. Like, oh, you're okay, right? Or either you'll hear through the grapevine that somebody's like, oh, I hope she doesn't mess up that relationship because God knows it's so hard for someone to like her. And you're just like, dude, tell me you don't value me without telling me you don't value me, right? And so they'll talk you into unevenly yoked connections because they think that you cannot do better. They don't see your full value. It doesn't mean the value's not there, right? So they'll talk you into being with people that are way beneath what you need to be focusing on. You watch people like that. You watch people that sit around and tell you that so-and-so, if you ever listen to Betty Wright growing up, if you grew up in those kind of places where that music was being played and the whole don't blame Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie is just a man and he's doing the best that he can. Is nonsense, right? And so when you get around people and they talk like that, whether it's friendships, relationships, workplaces, or whatever, You watch that behavior, because it just means they might be anchoring you to less value. Because sometimes we don't even know. People are helping us make our decisions. We're using them for sounding boards. We're having interactions and conversations, and they're in our top 5, and they're literally navigating us to doom. And we're not even noticing, because we think this person's my friend. Yeah, it happens. Number one is, eventually it will weigh on your esteem. That's another point, because you can't just be around people who don't value aspects of who you are and it not weigh on your esteem, right? That's why I don't talk to anybody who bashes genders, who bashes race and ethnicity, who bashes nationalities. I don't talk to those people regularly, because first of all, eventually something you're saying that's negative or anti everything is going to apply to me. And if you feel like that, then you feel like I am less value, but you're connected to me. I don't do those sort of connections. And I used to make room for this when it came to like friends and family, which I still do. But as long as they don't get into conversations or try to make me be a part of a negative interaction, then it's all gravy. But if I see that as a way that somebody's moving, I'm paying attention to it, and I'm disconnecting for whatever length of period of time that I need to. Because I'm not going to have people around me who I think are for my good, who are really orchestrating my doom. Because they're orchestrating a low level that they believe that you deserve, because they don't see your full value. Facts. I prefer to extract my presence from people who treat me that way, for there to be no more energetic exchange. And we have to keep that in mind, that when we're interacting with people, it's not just hi and bye, hello, goodbye, blah, blah, blah. We're really exchanging energy the whole time. And because we're exchanging this energy with them, we're not even realizing that we have gotten ourselves into a position to where we're sucking up this negative from them, and they're extracting all of our positive and excitement and beautiful energy, right? Because I don't know about you, but I never approach conversations with people and start crashing on things that I know affects them. It is one of the biggest reasons why I always learn about people when I meet them and get to know things about them, so I won't have foot and mouth syndrome. So I'm not sitting there thinking, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, so-and-so was like this and I shouldn't have blah, blah, blah. The best way to not do that is to walk around and don't crash on other people or don't devalue other people. Then you won't ever have to worry about if you're stepping on toes. Another thing is, they just think because they think because they don't think that you are smart, or they don't think that you are successful, or they don't think that you are beautiful, or they don't think that you are intelligent or worthy. They think because they refuse to acknowledge it or they don't see it, that nobody else should be able to see it either. So when you have situations that completely contradicts this low value negative narrative that they have towards you, they will most likely ignore it, because it's too far off what they would choose to see for you, as opposed to what you are actually as a person, who you are actually as a person, right? They'll ignore it just to keep their narrative from falling apart. If they want to see you as less than them, and somehow at some point you're just not less than them in any measure of any kind of way that they would try to measure, you're just not. There's nothing that they know more than you. There's nothing that they have on you. There's nothing that they're bigger than. There's nothing that they create more than. But they don't want to see you as being more than them, whoever these people or this place may be. So therefore, they'll ignore it. Don't waste your time trying to prove that kind of stuff. And then the last note that I have is, after everything you've been through in life, my thought is that you deserve an echo chamber of support. There's not an adult that I meet who's not working on something, trying to be something, trying to do something, trying to create something, where I think it is my responsibility to step in and tell them that they can't have, or they can't be, or they can't create something that they believe they can create. What I'm going to do is encourage you. That's just facts. And if you're not working on it, then you just won't get your thing. That's just not my business. Everybody knows faith without works is dead. Everybody knows that you can't have things in life, even if you believe in them a whole lot, if you're not doing some action towards them, right? We are three-dimensional beings, right? And so we have three dimensions in which we need to operate in. And this is the one. We need to actually be in this one, because we're in these physical bodies. We're using this little avatar. We need to keep this little avatar healthy. We need to keep it right, keep its mind right, keep everything about it working properly, so we can have a smooth ride on our earth journey, right? That's the point. So when I'm dealing with people, I'm not going to sit there and be a negative Nancy about what's going on in their life and what they're trying to create. I'm going to speak positive. I'm going to be an echo chamber of support. People have enough coming against them. You have enough coming against you on a regular basis. Why do you need someone around you in your space who shows a lack of value of everything that you are and what you represent? I think that we don't put enough emphasis on value when it comes to people and connections and relationships and all that kind of stuff, because if you're around people who value completely different things, you miss each other. Right? And that's friendships or whatever, you just miss each other. Like if I want to be valued for being a top academic, right? But I'm around people who don't respect that world at all, then I'm completely missing them, because I can't feel valued for something that I'm proud of, and they're not proud of me for something that I feel is valuable about myself, right? So we really need to pay close attention to that. But do not spend your time being connected with people who do not fully see your value. They should be telling you you're worth that much more and beyond. And if you're not, then why are they even connected to you if they don't think highly of you? Because people that think highly of themselves want to be connected to other people who think highly of themselves too. So if they're connected to you and they don't think highly of you, 9 times out of 99.9% 10, they don't value themselves either. And being around people who don't value themselves is very dangerous, because first you have to deal with a lot of the ignoring of anything that you're doing great, and then you have to deal with the belittling of it, and then you also have to deal with the eventual jealousy or envy of it. Be around people who maybe not be where they want to be, but they love themselves. They enjoy themselves. They like themselves. They speak highly of themselves. They actually value who they are as a person. They're not performing out there trying to be this and that to look a certain way to people, because that's not very important to them. They truly love and enjoy themselves, right? And that's off the beaten path. And it's not going to be super, super common that you'll come across people like that. But I'll tell you this, they're worth waiting for. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.